Tuesday, and there's no wind. Thank goodness for that. Slight breeze, but nothing to speak of, which is good. So this morning we're going to be working around here, finishing off this panel. About 3 square metres to do up the top there, and that's this section then finished. A little bit on the end buttress to do, and then I think we're down to the next lift, which is very good, because the next few lifts is not masses of it to do like this, but it's not looking too bad now. Right, I'll crack on. Well, I'm cracking on with this panel this morning. Not far off now, but weather's terrible. It feels more like October. Got fleece on, coat on, well, hard hat, say hat, hard hat. But yeah, unbelievable weather. When you think Europe is scorchio at the minute, and Britain is more like winter. Terrible. Right, well, I better get some more of this this pointing up here finished. Okay, so what is lime and why do we use it? Obviously some of you out there viewing this will work with lime, you know all about lime, etc. So this is for the ones that basically have never had anything to do with lime but are interested. So we have a few different types of lime. We'll start off with your NHLs. You've got 3.5, you've got 2 and you've got 5, and they're all basically gauged on their strength. So your 2 being the lowest, 3.5 would be your most common, and your 5 would be the hardest. Now we do use it sometimes, not very often, but we do use it. And then of course you've got your quicklime mortars, which are produced by burning limestone to about 900C, and then obviously it's left to cool, and once it's cooled you can add water to it, which causes a reaction. The burnt limestone, the kibble as it's known, will heat up rapidly, and I mean rapidly, and it'll go up to about 160. Now from this you can make a hot mortar and use it fresh straight away, and some like to do that, some insist on doing that. You can let it cool and use it as a cold mortar. Now take this building for example, the mortar for this has been produced by adding quicklime to aggregates. Now the quicklime would have been brought in the form of kibble. They'd have dug a pit and put the kibble into the pit, and the moisture from the ground had reacted with the kibble, turning it into the quicklime over time. They then get the lime out of the pit as and when they needed it, and mix it with their aggregates to make the mortars. So I doubt very much that they were using a hot mix mortar to put up big structures like this. Now from your kibble, when you've added water, you'll produce a putty, what's known as a lime putty. Now this putty again has got various uses. For example, you could use it to add a very fine sand, do it about a 50-50 gauge to make your lime plaster finish, which is something that we've demonstrated on previous videos on the channel. Obviously you can get your lime putty and you can add it to aggregates to make up your mortars. Now why do we do this, and why don't we use any Portland cement in the mortars? Well, Portland cement for one is extremely hard, and for two it's quite good at repelling water. Now you may think if you're doing repointing or something, or a render, that's a good thing, but actually it's not. That's a very bad thing for an older structure. Soft brick, soft stone, etc. will be damaged by using a Portland cement mortar, or a mortar that's had Portland cement added. So for example a lime mortar that you put Portland cement into. to basically get it to set faster, etc. Lime, however, is very vapor permeable or breathable in layman's terms. It's very good at getting rid of water basically, so you get the capillary action where the water goes in and it can get out again. You introduce cement over the top of lime mortar bedding and you'll trap that water in. This is why we use lime on buildings like this. Right, well I hope that was a little bit of helpful information for anybody that's a bit of a novice out there that would love to know about lime. Now, I think it was the last video, I put on a little bit about tying the cherishing sheets together, and somebody very kindly put a comment on, which I always appreciate comments, saying use zip ties or cable ties. That's great, it's a good idea, and I did actually think of doing that, but what I'm trying to do is do it without using plastics, etc. I'm trying to use natural materials. It seems to be the in thing these days, doesn't it? So this is why I was thinking of doing it with some hemp string. But thanks for the suggestion, really appreciate it. Right, well we'll leave that there for now, and I'll get a bit more done because the skies are getting very dark and it looks like it's going to rain. The northwest is in winter now, or that's what it feels like. Summer seems to have disappeared. Right, we'll see you all in a short while. Lunchtime. And of course, back in the days of old, every tradesman, craftsman, whichever you prefer, would have one of these, a billy can. This particular one is full of hot steaming tea. We like being traditional. And talking of being traditional, this church, when it was erected in 1873, was finished in the style of penny roll tuck pointing. The bell tower that was erected in 1890 was also finished with the penny roll tuck pointing. Now, we've not been doing that purely because a lot of the Harris have gone off the bricks, if not all of it, and it just wouldn't look right. Plus, we've not been requested to do that. But wouldn't it be nice to do one small area that's not in the public view with the penny roll? So that's what we're going to do this afternoon, and we'll give you a quick demonstration on how to do penny roll tuck pointing. Right, I'm going to have my cup of tea now because I've not had a break since 8 o'clock this morning and it is now 1 o'clock, so I'm well ready for a brew. Penny roll tuck pointing, here we go. Right, what you need is one of them to use as a straight edge and one of them, which is a little trowel I whittled out of a bit of steel and a bit of a wooden handle that I purchased. Okay, so start with your perch. Put your straight edge on, get it nice and flat. And use the rounded bit just to score that line into it, like so. And then of course you do your stretcher joints, same thing, put straight edge on and score it across. Now you don't want to be going too deep, but what you want to try and do is keep it in the middle of the joint, which isn't easy on here because it's water dripping all over me at the moment, which isn't pleasant. I mean, you do all your perps first, but this is a demonstration. Probably not the right day to be doing something like this. wet and horrible. I normally have a long straight edge for doing this, but unfortunately I've not got it with me, purely because we weren't doing this particular kind of pointing. But you can use anything that's a nice straight edge for doing it. Of course, normally I'd spend a lot longer doing the penny roll finish, but it's just to give you a rough idea on how it's done and what it looks like. So hopefully I've done that. Right, let's crack on with the rest of the video. Yeah, the water's far too wet for doing it yet, but like I said, just to give you a demonstration on what you do with the penny roll. Normally you let it set in, it's been compacted, or at the least gone over with a stick and then marked up with the penny roll. Now that's how I've always done it, so maybe you do it and you do it slightly different, who knows, maybe you do it exactly the same. There we go. Pick you up. Oh, come here. Oh, you're getting heavy. Right. So that's basically penny roll. Like I say, it'd be a lot neater than that. You spend a bit more time doing it, but it's a bit horrendous out here today, weather-wise. But it gives you a rough idea of what you do. I mean, normally you'd want it so it's set to like that, you know, and then do your lining into it. It won't be as messy then. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, and I think soon we'll be, oh, I'm saying that, it looks like it's brightening up over there, so you never know, we might go down and do a bit more on the next level. Right, we'll leave the penny roll demonstration for now. I will do a video basically on a biggish area on the penny roll for you at some point, and some other types of pointing as well, which you'll find interesting. I mean, there is one, again, some of you will know about it, some of you will actually do it, where you'd use a mortar that's a similar colour to the brick. You do it flush to the brick and you put a line through it like we've done, only quite a bit deeper, a little bit of a tapered line, you know, like a pointy line, and you let that set in, and then you go over it with a fine white mortar and you trim it off so you've got these perfect little lines or perfect little joints. And the idea of the coloured mortar is to disguise the big beds and the damaged arris on the bricks. And it does look effective, and I will be doing a demonstration of that. There's a section of wall at home which we're going to have a do on at some point to give you a demonstration. Right, we'll leave that one there and we will catch you later. It's a bit wet. I think it's going to beat me today, this rain. I'm absolutely soaking. Well, the old billy can's out again. Yep, we're having a brew. So, what have we learnt today? Well, we've learnt a bit about lime. I can go more in depth on other videos for you. However, if anybody has any questions, you're not quite sure about something, you're doing a bit of a project at home, please feel free to let me know in the comments. I'll see if I can help you out with some advice. We're always happy to do that. As far as the penny roll tuck pointing goes, not the most brilliant demonstration I could have done, I do admit. Horrendous up there today, really is. The section of wall or the section of belfry I'm working on, I've got the wind blowing on me, and rain lashing down. So it was not easy trying to do anything there at all. But that section is now completed. The cherishing sheets are all on, and we're moving on to the next part of the belfry tomorrow. I was going to go up and start chopping out, but I've just had enough for one day. I'm cold, I'm wet, and I'm tired. A bit of a disturbed night last night. One of our dogs, she was in for a major operation on her hip yesterday. We've got her back home now, and she was not happy last night. A lot of whining, etc. The poor little thing. So I've just had enough for one day, and I'm going to go home and relieve Lady Dust, who actually spent the night laid on the floor next to the dog that's in a cage, to comfort her. So she's had no sleep, so I'm going to go and take over so she can go and have a little nap. And we shall see you tomorrow, being Wednesday, and we'll see what exciting stuff we can get up to in the morning. See you tomorrow.